So if you could open up and speak on it for us, brother.
Yeah, we just wanted to go into how we're seeing these different events that's starting to happen, where it's throwing a lot of people attention that they're looking towards, with these different things that is popping off in the media. You have like the Cat Williams thing that's going on. What else? You have like the Epstein. Before that, you had what the Jada Pinkett thing. All these things that are actually that's been stepping in and happening to throw throw the people off and focusing on world, certain things that are basically it's to negate the fact of what's happening is prophecy. With the things that are going on in the Red Sea, these certain the U.S. having more involvement over there in the Red Sea and just more involvement of the war that's happening over there in against the Israeli and the Palestinians. All these things that are happening in the world, even with these different chariot sites, they keep putting in more of this propaganda to focus on instead of what's these major points of prophecy they're trying to avoid for everyone to look at. And that's the devil. What does he do? He deceives you. He try to force your mind or you force your eye to look this way, but yet you have these major things that happen. So what he's doing, he's throwing these different bombs and smoke screens over here and saying, look at these, look at this over here, look at that over here. Yeah. Don't focus on what's going on. Don't focus on these people that's crossing the border. You know what I'm saying? All these men that's crossing that could be into the U.S. that could be actually all of them are basically military age. So all these things that are happening, he's trying to throw these different smoke screens. He's disguising the prophecies basically.
He's disguising his real agenda. Mm-hmm. All right. We got a couple words that we want to put on screen for you all. But first, I want to read this just to back the brother up, right? This is Genesis 3:1, talking about the wicked, right? It says, now the serpent, all right, the wicked, was more subtle than any beast of the field, which the Lord God hath made. Now, I thought about this word as the brother was telling me about the lesson, subterfuge. Now, when you read the definition for this word, it says, that to which one resorts for an escape or concealment. And we know this devil's trying to conceal who he is, trying to conceal his real plan, all right, which is to be like the Most High, to make slaves of the people. And as you go through this definition, it says, to escape, flee by stealth. But as you jump down right here, it says supernatural, subnormal. And it lines up with Genesis 3:1. He's very cunning in how he tries to divert the people's attention. Mm-hmm. All right. So yeah, I just thought I looked that word up, and the brother looked up, brought up this word, smokescreen, or says in reference to a deliberate use of smoke as a form of military camouflage. So we're undergoing a psyop with all these instances. Whenever this devil wants to do something, I'll say this, and I'll pass the mic back over. Whenever this devil wants to move things forward in his plan, he'll put things up there like that Will Smith slap.
Right.
Like this whole Cat Williams thing. To distract the majority of people of what he's really doing. Right now, this man is passing laws to where they don't need search warrants anymore. Around this time of year, they always make big changes in laws and policy, and people are so caught up with these so-called holidays, all right, which are just satanic celebrations, and they pass these laws to further take your freedoms from you, so-called freedoms. Okay,
that's right. And what's that? When you look at that, you have a deceiver. As Watchmen, as it says in Ezekiel 33, around the 7th verse, it says, we basically the set of watchmen. The Lord set of watchmen to warn the people. And one thing that we are doing, like what is that? 2 Corinthians 2.
Oh,
you about to get that?
You want it?
Come. Then we get our 2 Corinthians 2:11.
Okay.
All right. I got you right here. It's the book of Second Corinthians, chapter 2, and verse 11. It says, "Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices."
See, and this is like I say, those different smoke screens. Those are devices that Esau uses, to forward certain narratives. You know, like I say, he uses his media because he controls all of the media. If you look at the different who owns all of the networks, it's basically of a small hat, and that's what he does. Now, when you go into what is he's a devil, as it says in Thessalonians. So he's a deceiver, and we're not ignorant of his devices. So as men of the Lord, we've been set up to warn the people and give, because we're not ignorant of his devices. We're giving warning and calling these things out, saying, hey, don't focus on that. Continue focusing on what this man is actually trying to do. Like you just went into, he's subtle. He's very cunning.
I got that for you.
You guys talked about Salaki. You guys talked about media. When you talk about that word, it actually goes to a Greek goddess. Her name Medea, right? Where she was a sorceress and a schemer. So if you want to look that up on your own time, you can.
Well, I got one just laying back off of you, since you got a little information about that the deity, Medea. Like the brother just said, goes back into media. Well, here in the book of Wisdom of Solomon, the 14th chapter, it goes into the results of idol worship and how it pretty much brings in all sorts of calamities and evil upon the world. All right, with Esau Edom, that's all he's that's the vibration that he's pushed upon this world is nothing but idol worship, things to pretty much exalt himself above the knowledge and omnipotency of Yahweh by Shemal Shah. So this is a part of his tactics. This is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14 and verse 21. It says, "And this was an occasion to deceive the world, for men serving either calamity or tyranny." Right. And right now the masses are serving, calamity and tyranny. Right. How are they serving calamity? Right. By being subject to the spirit of fear. See, case in point, 2020, everybody, was afraid of, that sea monster, So what did they do? They bowed the knee, right, and got that dragon juice. It says, "Serving either calamity or tyranny, did ascribe unto stones and stocks," right? These particular idols, the incommunicable name. It says, "Moreover, this was not enough for them." Right. So all these things has been happening upon the earth. This hasn't been enough for these people, man. Particular plagues, you see trials, judgments that the Lord's been putting up on this place. Right. It says, "Moreover, this was not enough for them, that they erred in the knowledge of the Most High, but whereas they lived in the great war of ignorance, those so great plagues called they peace." Right. Because this is a war of ignorance, man. Right. Like you got that particular what I guess you could say far right, whistleblower. What's his name? Alex Jones.
Yeah.
He calls his show Info Wars. Right, and that's exactly what it is when you are, when you're under the control of the goddamn devil. Esau Edom. You see, this is an information war. All right, and this is why the Apostle Paul was admonishing the churches: don't be ignorant. Don't let Satan, get an advantage of us, by being ignorant, man. Right? Because we have this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. So this shouldn't be an info war anymore. The Lord has revealed who the Edomites are, their tactics. You see, and he's done this through the lens of prophecy.
That's right. And what is it? That ignorance? That remind me of Isaiah 60 and verse 2. I can pull it real quick.
I'll read it for you.
Because what Esau has did, he have blinded, he's dumbed down people, especially here in America. You have when you listen to someone talk in America, you like, man, you have, especially like say nigga woman. That's like one of his main targets, because now the woman is the head of the household here, and she sway the household wherever her mindset is how the household go, which is totally backwards. And like you say, that ignorant, when it goes into that in Isaiah 60, you know, it goes into what? That gross darkness. If we can all go ahead and pull it.
This is Isaiah 60:2. It says, "For behold, the darkness." I'll just start at the top. What am I doing?
No.
Isaiah 60:1. Arise, shine, for thy light is come, and the glory of the Lord is risen upon thee. For behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness the people. But the Lord shall arise upon thee, and his glory shall be seen upon thee.
See, and like you say, it goes into what the earth and the gross darkness of the people. So that gross darkness goes when you go into that word. It goes into
Yeah, this the Hebrew word for darkness, Strong's H2822, chashak. All right, and it says darkness, obscurity, secret place. Strong's definition, it says misery, destruction, death, ignorance.
That's it. The ignorance, and it's a misery and destruction. So through this gross darkness, through this ignorance, Esau has blinded the world and set them up for what? Misery, destruction. All right. And you got to think, who is Esau? He's that Revelation 6, that red horse, and wherever he go, death and hell follows. But like you said, he's still that cunning dragon. That cunning snake that was in the forest or in the wilderness, and like it was slocking in the garden, and now he's became that full blown dragon, deceiving the whole world. And like I say, when you go into ignorance, like I said, it's right there. I was about to say it's like a lack of knowledge. So he keep people dumbed down with the BS that goes on that he puts in his media, in the medium, to keep the buffer out the actual reality that, hey, he's actually is going down the drain. His rulership, he's setting up for a mass death, like it shows in the Georgia Guidestone. But and that's doing what? Setting everybody up for a slaughter, and they're basically ignorant to the fact. So he's one big Judas goat that's setting up to destroy the people.
I can add this while I was lucky, brother.
Yeah, so when them controlling the media, and this is because they seek to be like a totalitarian government, a world government, right? When you control the media and you can suppress truth in this way, they can evade accountability for their actions. So most people, they walking around, they don't know who to blame. So they blaming each other. They blaming little group, and that's what this devil wants. That plays into his hands. So but the prophets actually know who's the source of all the the evil going forth in the earth, and we could prove it using the scriptures. You got it, brother.
Yeah, I was going to say, and this is why scriptures likens someone without understanding as beast. Because the brother just mentioned how Esau is leading these people to the slaughter. Ultimately it's through their lack of ignorance. So the Lord is likening them as unto beasts. I believe was Ecclesiastes the 3rd chapter. Let's see, Ecclesiastes chapter 3. As a matter of fact, Salakia, I want to grab the one in Psalms 49. I want to say the last verse. Yep. Psalms 49 and verse 20. It says, man that is in honor and understandeth not. See, if you don't understand, you don't have any intelligence. You're ignorant. It says, is like the beasts that perish. And that's what the masses are, man. They're beasts. They're senseless beasts. They have no understanding of what's going on. They're looking at the same nukes, all right? But we looking at up on these particular articles. They see these same headlines we see. North Korea's just commenced another ICBM missile testing. All right, but they're still walking around with their heads in the sand, man. Right. So they're being led to the slaughter, while the elect is doing what Zephaniah the 2nd chapter says, right? Gathering ourselves together before the fierce anger of the Lord comes.
And that's like I said, that's him. Like I said, we're saying lest Satan is not. We're not ignorant to Satan devices that we just read in 2 Corinthians. They're ignorant to the Satan devices. So we're basically here to point things out and call out, what Esau is doing. But what does Hosea 4 and 6 say? Hosea 4, 6 and 7, they say they do what? Our people, they reject knowledge. So we're basically causing people to mark themselves. They're going to reject knowledge, and the Lord is going to reject them during that time, during these times here. We see people that pass by us constantly when we're out there on the highways and byways. I'm sure they pull up different videos and give warning, but yet they don't want to hear that. I've even heard some, back in the day, some women I used to work with, they'll say, hey, I don't watch the news. I don't listen to, because nothing good on there. But they'll listen to they'll pull up all this fighting and fussing and all this stuff that's on these
Love and hip hop,
the housewives and all this BS.
Bad Girls Club.
yeah. That's what that really drives them. So that basically always set in their minds. But when you basically start talking reality, they don't want to live in reality. They want to live in a fantasy world.
Yeah. Well, they're driven. These people are driven, especially our people. They're driven by black culture. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So they're in that gross darkness we're reading about.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have any foresight about the things that are actually taking place that could affect their psyche, how they do things. They don't realize that the same black culture that they cleave unto is them as a spell being casted on them. And a lot of the situations in their life and how they deal with people, with their family and in relationships, is a manifestation of them constantly cleaving unto that spell that's been casted over them. So, a lot of these people, man, they're just missile food.
Yeah.
These messages and the video epistles are for the elect,
Mm-hmm.
That's their comfort. What is that in First Maccabees, when it said they wanted to basically walk with the what did it go into? I'm gonna go ahead and pull it. They wanted to get with them and walk do what the heathens do.
First Maccabees.
Yeah. First Maccabees.
And that's always been our people problem. Mm-hmm. They wanted a king because other nations had a king.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So our people, man, we've been given the way to life, but they just don't value it. And we went into this at camp yesterday. I believe it's in the book of Exodus, where they pretty much, bullied Aaron, and he shouldn't have did it anyway, but they bullied Aaron into building that golden calf.
Right.
You know what I mean? They say, make some gods for us. And when they did that, when you're reading that chapter, they actually gave credit to their deliverance from Egypt to the gods of Egypt. Even though the Lord took down each and every one of those gods of Egypt, showed that he had dominion over the elements.
Yep.
But that's 2/3 of our people, and those same spirits, man, they're back here today, the same way the prophets are back.
Doing all those different foul acts.
Correct.
And that's, going just like in Genesis 6, how they gave the what they in Genesis 6, the world became so wicked where destruction had to come upon the earth. That's why
I got it pulled up, man. The Genesis 6:13, I got it pulled up. You want me to read it?
Huh.
This is Genesis 6, and I'll just start at 12. It says, and God looked upon the earth, and behold, it was corrupt, for all flesh had corrupted his way upon the earth.
And that's actually what it is today. I mean, it's just corrupt everywhere you look. You look on TV, you walk outside, you go into a store, or you cut on the radio. It's constantly corruption of the mind.
Right. Fucking hell, bro. I told you about it, and I think I did a lesson yesterday. I mentioned about it, but yeah, speaking about this corruption, like, because it's constantly pushed out. Like man, Esau makes it a point to really push it out, but especially into the Israelites, to keep us, in this clone Tyrone, state. All right, but yesterday I was driving. It was Salaki. It was day before yesterday. I was. It was like around 9:30 in the morning. I was driving to a job, and I had my aux cord plugged into my phone, listening to either the Apostles video or Brothers video, and I had hit a bump on these Texas bumps on these highways, man. I had hit a bump, and it literally, like, the Lord made it happen. I had hit the bump, and my radio had cut on. It just cut the sound from my aux cord, and the radio had cut on. And the song that I was blasting was, bend over, let the coochie, let the coochie breathe. That song, man. So that's a prime example why the Lord just got to wipe this place out, man.
And his little kids dancing to that song.
What you say, bro?
And it's little kids dancing to that song.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Little
and it was
girls.
like 9:30 in the morning.
So we talked about this the other day, like maybe 2 weeks ago at camp. When children, just adults, everybody, when we wake up from that sleep, we're still in what is it, the theta state of
Mhm.
mind, to where things can be said to you and they go into your subconscious. So you
Right.
got your kid, they still got sleep in their eyes. You driving them to school, and your
Right.
little daughter she's in a state to where she's susceptible to taking on spirits and behaviors, and all she's hearing is "let that coochie breathe" over and over. It's a spell.
Yep.
Right.
It's producing horrors amongst our children.
Mm-hmm. Then
Yeah, man.
Charleston White. What did he say when he take his kid to school?
Right.
He got that different music, Sexy Red, and all of it playing. I'm not thinking that might be her song there.
Right.
So yeah, like I said, Esau, like I said, he's what the Lord said, he's wiser than Daniel. Even though the wisdom being lost in teeming, he's still has his agenda to get in the mind of our children. Because like I said, he's looking to get rid of our generations, and he want to raise up a corrupt generation as our kids, because they're acceptable at this time, because they're young. They're going to absorb that wickedness, and then it'll just flow into the world like it's normal.
Well, with the if I may say,
Mm.
with the MOTB, with this new world system that he's trying to establish, where he'll be able to literally control the people,
Mm.
all those that don't bend that knee, i.e., us, he plans on starving us out and killing us off.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
there won't be anybody who will have a spirit in them to contest, what he has going on.
Mm.
From the time people are born, they'll be owned by him. That's what taking that mark is gonna be, man. You're giving dominion of your soul over to this man, But the Lord's not gonna let him fulfill it. But that's the
Yeah.
plan.
Okay.
This is
Oh,
the
I
book
gotta
of,
finish reading Salaki. I gotta finish reading this. This is for you, Amathia. It's Genesis 6:13. It says, "And God said unto Noah, the end of all flesh is come before me,
Mm.
for the earth is filled with violence through them, and behold, I will destroy them with the earth."
Hey, that's what we're seeing today. The earth is constantly filled with violence.
Right.
When you pull up on TV, you pull up on social media, you having Jake up there pulling their guns out, showing them. I mean,
But
our mhm.
they're only mimicking what the wicked do, because we know
Right.
who the scriptures say the violent man is. And you got to think, we're reading here in Genesis 6, what seed line was prevalent in the earth pushing
That
all
was
that
Cain
bullshit?
seed. Mm-hmm. Cain seed.
Cain seed, man.
Yes.
They became the first arms dealers, the same way they arms dealers here on this side. They sell weapons
Mm-hmm.
all across the world. All these little smaller nations, they popping up with AKs. You look on the AK, it say U.S. Army on it.
Right. Right.
So the same spirit that he was in during Noah's time is a spirit that he's in this time, man. And wickedness is greatly multiplying in the earth with this man in authority. The same way when the Greeks came into power, and you speak, and I'll go get the precept, because when the Greeks came into power, it said that evils were multiplied.
Right. Right. And even when, like I say, during the time Cain seed was going on, you go into, what was that, two-ball Cain, when you go into it. And he knew, like they saying today, hey, the Lord hasn't intervened. He was like, so I'm gonna kill these people, just like two-ball said, I can do a 70-fold. And the Lord, to my hurt, roughly paraphrasing. So that's what he saw us doing now. Well, the Lord haven't intervened now, so I'm finna go and try to fulfill my belly. I'm gonna.
Right.
He set up. What is that? That's what the whole Cold War about. Esau against Esau, Russia,
Yeah.
America, and they set up all these different weapons. We're looking at the deal. He had. You set up all these different weapons that could destroy the earth, and you start pointing them towards one another. Instead of setting up peace after you get power over the world, but yet you can't. He can't deal with peace. Peace. He say peace. Then suddenly he constantly want war, destruction. He always point. He looks. He cannot go without. That's
Yeah.
his MO. The Lord
What's
set him up.
what's that African meme with the dude? He said, "I don't want peace. I want problems always." That's Esau. That's Esau, bro. That's him. But it's the Lord programmed him to be that way.
Mm-hmm.
The Lord. So it's not like he could. You talked about can the Ethiopian change his spots? That's his part in the movie. It's
Yeah.
not something that he could change. You see, so he's just playing his part at the end of the day. Let me read this real quick because I mentioned the Greeks when they came into power. Evils multiplied upon the earth, man, and it's
Mm-hmm.
just you can use just to prove who the cancer is in the earth, right? Because you talk to so-called white people, they just have so much pride in Greek, the Greek time period in Rome, especially Alexander the Greek. When you talk to
Yeah.
scholars and stuff, they look at him as like, like how we look at King David. They look at Alexander the Greek that way. First Maccabees 1-9. This is after Alexander the Greek, the great, whatever they want to call him, really the boy lover. First Maccabees 1-9. After he died, and after his death, they all put crowns as four generals upon themselves. So did their sons after them many years, and evils were multiplied in the earth. So
Mm-hmm.
this man being in power is causing the whole earth to be in a state of mourning, like it talks about. I believe that's Proverbs 29:2. Yep. So, man, we're not like the rest of the people in the earth that can't point out what the source of the problem is. We know, and we could prove it with the scriptures.
That's right.
Yep.
If you keep reading, I mentioned earlier, verse 11. When you go down to First Maccabees 1-11.
Okay, I can
Yeah.
read it. I'm here. I'll just pull it up for you. First Maccabees 1-11. I'll just read through 10. And there came out of them a wicked root, Antiochus Epiphanes, the son
Mm-hmm.
of Antiochus the king, who had been in hostage at Rome, and he reigned in 137th year of the kingdom of the Greeks. In those days went there out of Israel wicked men who persuaded many, saying, "Let us go and make a covenant, a pact, with the
Mm-hmm.
heathen that are round about us. For since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow."
Yeah, and that's it. And when you look at that, it was went from the Greeks to the Romans. We were still under the Edomites. That's just different names, same OE. And our people, when they like say wickedness was surrounding them, the wicked men was surrounding them. So when they said, "Let's make a covenant with them because we're going through misery, so let's join and make a pact with them." And what is that saying? You do as the Romans do.
When in Rome,
Yep.
do as the Romans. Yep.
Yeah, so you're surrounded by these Romans and these Greeks. So what you doing? You're gonna basically say, "I'm gonna adapt and do what you're gonna do. Whatever you're doing, let me make a covenant and follow your ways." As you had mentioned, we have these our Jake walking around. They basically are worshiping these different weapons they have now. You looking like in Chicago and different places. Well, who was the weapon given to? Who received that blessing?
Whose blessing is the sword? Esau.
Yes, so our people are they basically said, "Let me make a covenant, let me share with your blessing." So he give it to them to do what? Destroy themselves.
He ain't sharing shit with it. Y'all getting the hand-me-downs. Y'all getting
Yes.
his child toys. What the weapons that he have now, the sword isn't just like just the gun. It's not even just the missiles. This man, everything he touches, he turns it into a weapon. He's
Mm-hmm.
weaponized the food. He's weaponized medicine. He's weaponized the water. He's weaponized the air. He's weaponized that phone in your hand. He's weaponized social media. It doesn't stop. He's the Michael Jordan of weapons.
Weapons, yeah. I don't know. You've seen Guardians of the Galaxy. It's a raccoon on there, Rocket, and he can
Yeah,
make
yeah.
a weapon out of anything. That's Esau.
That's Esau, man.
I got a preset for you.
Give him that weapon. You know what? You can give him a rock and two sticks, and he got a weapon for you.
And he'll be on your ass.
Mm-hmm.
I got a preset for you. Just to back you up. This is Sirach 39:27. I'm gonna start at verse 26 for what the brother Yawan said, how he turned water into a weapon. This is Sirach 39:26. The principal things for the whole use of man's life are water, fire, iron, and salt, flour of wheat, honey, milk, and the blood of the grape, and oil, and clothing. All these things are for good to the godly. So to the sinners, they are turned into evil.
Yep.
So all those things, man, wheat, honey, like wine, like he's tainted all these things and literally turned into a weapon, man.
Yep.
Now you got all these hormones and chicken. Now niggas got man boobs.
Water.
They got a documentary. The chicken, you mentioned the chicken, man. Damn, they got a documentary on Netflix. They got a documentary on Netflix, man. They were showing like the chicken farms where we get our chicken from, man. They pump the chickens up full of so much steroids and chemicals, and they chest so big. They got the Johnny Bravo chest, and their legs can't sustain the weight of their body, so their legs broken. They bleeding over each other. They're packed in so tight that they can barely kind of turn. So they're scratching each other with each other's feet. They're getting infected. Chicken's coughing. I'm watching a documentary and the chicken's coughing.
Got a smoker's cough.
Yeah, the chickens got smoker's cough, and then they package it up, put some chemicals on it so it stay pink, and they give it to you.
Yeah.
This man weaponized. Yes, Slocky, go ahead.
No, I was like, they say the chicken can be like fully grown in like 3 weeks, which we know they're not. But like I say, they pack them up with so many different hormones and these different shots they put in them that they actually get so big, their bones can't take it.
Yeah, they bones they got hollow bones.
Mm-hmm.
They're not. It's not supposed to be all that weight on that damn chicken.
Average chicken is supposed to, grow about 6 months. It's supposed to take about 6 months
3 weeks
until you eat a chicken. 6 months, but now, like the doctor just said, it's 3 weeks now with all these hormones. Now you're wondering why everybody's walking around here with cancer,
sick,
fat.
Right,
bro. You can look this up yourself. In Canada, they make artificial salmon. Okay, they like clone salmon. Now these artificial salmon that they made, they start mixing this clone population with the real population of salmon. And guess what the clone population does to the real salmon?
Eats it.
They eat the real salmon, bro. They start becoming cannibalists. And then they package these motherfuckers up and sell them to you.
See?
You see what I'm saying? And they where they sell like the most degenerate foods. They sell it in Jake communities.
Yeah.
If you want good produce, you got to go to where the so-called JOO lives. And now in that precept, it even talked about clothing. Right? Clothing, there's a reason the Lord told us not to mix fabrics. Cotton and linen is like a super fabric. It actually could charge your body when you're wearing all linen. But when you mix it with other materials, it actually can drain you. Polyester by itself, you put polyester on, it drains your body, makes you feel drained and weak. Cotton, we wear all cotton is good, but this devil, like I said, man, he's weaponized everything. And that was a beautiful precept, brother. The water.
Yeah. It was actually watching something today with his Edomite. He was saying that he was just one day just randomly, on the why I thought about it, walking around and saw everybody walk. He saw some new shoes that he was like, man, some white Nike shoes. And he said something just came to mind like, man, what if we walk around on the ground sometime? Because basically we're never grounded. Because when we walk outside, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna have on shoes. So he said we did got some I believe it was like some electric gray tape. And he actually showed it. He put like a grounder. He put a wire on it. Threw it out the window, stuck it through the ground, and he said he laid he put the tape on the bed and he slept like that overnight. And he said he woke up and he said, man, he felt so refreshed and haven't had no sleep like that ever.
Wow, man.
And that's basically because we're basically one with the earth, And Esau has, he knows that. So what do? To shorten lifespans up and keep you from that. What do? He give you these shoes, put on these thick soles, and then the shoe they said is basically messing our feet up the way they're shaped.
Yeah, you watch it like my baby girl. She, her feet, she just wears sandals. The balls of her feet are like your hands, like how they spread out. But when you wearing shoes your whole life, your feet become more narrow.
Yeah.
They show. I was watching the was it Geography Channel? They went and they was messing with this bush tribe, and they don't wear shoes, and they was like walking on the logs on the river, completely balanced. They was able to climb trees like real easy. And Esau, they're trying to do what he doing. He's like, man, how are they so balanced? But and they start talking about their feet, man, how their feet they're spread out and they're strong. you know, this devil, everything he's done, he's used it to weaken you.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah. You know, just on that topic, like, our whole life we grew up with socks on, now your toes all curled up and shit. These women be wearing high heels all the time and these tight ass shoes. So they got like off that movie Boomerang. You remember when he was just hoping she had some nice feet. Yeah, man. Yeah, this devil has destroyed everything and everybody, man. But the Lord has left behind a remnant. As it says in Isaiah, the 1st chapter, if the Lord has not left a remnant behind, we would have been at Sodom and Gomorrah.
That's right. Look at what the Psalms 43 and 1. We could read in the NLT.
Okay. Yeah. Psalms 43 and 1. And this is in the NLT. Right? It reads, and I'm pull it up on the screen for you all. Let me pull it up real quick for you guys. Psalms 43 and 1 in the NLT. It says, declare me innocent, O God. Defend me against these ungodly people. Rescue me from these unjust liars.
See? And that's one thing Esau do. When he went into that precept, going into the different food, like you said, he makes everything a weapon. Bro, he lies, try to make everything pleasing, saying the food is all good, but yet we cannot produce any food now. The food is not even giving us a full nutritional value as it's supposed to.
Right.
And like I said, everything is a lie, because what is it trying to do? As we mentioned earlier, try to bring what? That NWO upon the people. You got to go to the once for your enemy for all things. When you buy food, what you used to do is you can eat something and you have any seeds. Now you can grow your own. I can eat it, then I can grow my own, and I don't have to go. When I was growing up, we didn't really go to the supermarket or the grocery stores to get vegetable like greens and tomatoes, because we grew it. Now, shoot, you gotta go, because you cannot grow, because you don't have any seeds. You don't have anything that you can produce. So that's what he does. He lies to you, make it seem like he's helping, but yeah, he's basically making things more detrimental to you, and he's setting up for you to receive all these. He sets up for you to receive nothing, so you got to go to him to receive all. That's basically what it's coming down to.
And he'll sit there and tell you that his way is better than the Lord's way. I don't mean to cut you off, brother, but I do want to show brothers this clip of Gates of Hell telling you that trees are not good for the environment.
Wow.
But yo, our people are so gone in their head that they'll look at this man like, oh, he must know something we don't know. What the hell? But let's listen to it, man.
There's a lot of people who are very enamored with trees. We've got trees on this stage. Some people would even say that it just plants enough trees, you can take care of the climate issue altogether. And that's complete nonsense. Okay. I mean, are we the science people or are we the idiots? Which one do we want to be? Since he left the giggly lines, trees put out carbon dioxide and oxygen, mainly oxygen. They clean the atmosphere. They're amazing. You instinctively love them. You know they're good. Trees are bad. You got me, Bill Gates. But that's the reality. You tell the average person they're doing this. But remember, they're targeting children right now in school. I have articles here. They teach kids, you think trees are good? No, they're bad. So is grass. But he cuts down and clear cuts everything and puts huge solar farms everywhere where there's no life. But that's good. That's good. Of course, it's extremely toxic, the mining process to get the stuff for solar panels. But it's okay. Are we the science people or are we the idiots?
This is a low-income neighborhood in Phoenix, Arizona. I went there in the worst part of summer to find out why neighborhoods like this one are so much hotter than the rich neighborhoods that you can find just north of there.
You notice when you go to nice areas, they're covered with trees.
Mm-hmm.
The air, and it don't got that nasty ass. You go down here to South Dallas, we go to camp. Ain't no trees down there. You smell that shit?
Yeah. These are filters.
Yeah, it's a natural. The Lord created it. Everything is set up in checks and balances. But this devil, he's completely throwing off those checks and balances, and then he'll sit there and tell you, like Bill Gates, and tell you that, oh no, we're the scientists, we know better. It should be this way.
Yeah, and the nigga is not a scientist, but you
He
know
not
you
even
have.
a scientist. This nigga build computers. Oh my goodness.
But hey, he a rich man. He's a billionaire. Our people, hey, he's a billionaire. So he's right. He's always right because he's a billionaire.
Yep, like it says in what is it, Sirach? When a rich man speaketh, they extol it to the clouds. You know?
Yep.
That's just the case of the matter.
I got one for y'all if y'all want it.
Kind of.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 40 and verse 28 in the GNT. It says, "My child, don't live the life of a beggar. It is better to die than to beg. If you have to depend on someone else for your food, you are not really living your own life. You pollute yourself by accepting food from another. Begging is torture to the soul of any sensitive person."
So remember, like you said, we're gonna eat our food defiled because it said, you know, what did it just say about the when you go towards
Yeah, I read it again. It says, if you have to depend on someone else for your food, you are not really living your own life.
Yeah. So we're not living in this. This ain't living. You know, Marvin Gaye. This ain't living because you got to go to him, bro. You can't be in the city in Dallas, you know, in the main city of Fort Worth and grow food. So you got to go to a supermarket to get your food that's already out the ground. You know, just sitting there. You know, that ain't living. I'm going trying to see what's good and what's not.
Man,
bro, when you get something out of the ground and you eat it like a vegetable or something, bro, that it's so much refreshing. You know, you be able to. It's so much refreshing than going to a store it's been shipped probably on a truck 2 or 3 days and traveled, and then they spray all these different things to try to keep it fresh.
Yeah.
Bro, that's so much more living than you just looking at. Bro, supermarket is like a morgue for food.
Yeah. Yeah, you go try to buy some meat. The cow, the beef that they got the cow from died of dysentery.
Yep.
And then, you know, they just chopped them up anyway, sold it to you. Then there's a recall on the beef. Then you wonder why you feel bad. You know,
Yep.
it's you know, it's like a man is supposed to be able to grow his own food, to know to know the origins of where his food came from.
Yep. It's funny because you were talking about they're doing the chickens. I saw it was a documentary where the guy was saying, you know, you have people that say, oh, you know, you have culture meat, you got free range chickens. Free range is where you supposed to basically the chickens is just open and free land, just roaming. But it was a farmer saying, bro, free range, it could be 12, 24 inches of room. And they will call that free range because he can turn and turn back and forth.
Oh,
but what is that? That's the being the deceitful. You know, that is not free range. That you in a cage, but yet you can move around a little bit, so they can put that on their packaging and say this is free range chicken.
All right, yeah. All Esau got to do is just print out a sticker that says organic, and niggas believe it and think that they eating good and bragging about it.
This is organic. And then you look up the company name organic.
Right. They spell organic wrong. They spell with a K at the, you know, and niggas believe it.
I told you it was organic.
And then brag about it. I only shop at Whole Foods. Yeah, you still shop at Walk, you know?
Yeah.
Like, bro, this is hell. You know, every way you package it, man. You know? So this is why we're calling out for Yahweh Shah, man, to, you know, to come and give us a real life.
Mm-hmm.
Colossians, the 3rd chapter, when he appears, he's going to appear with our life. We've never experienced, you know, true joy. Right. We've never experienced, you know, true living. We're just existing in this society. We're not living, man.
That's right, man. We just sitting here crying unto the Father to deliver.
Right.
You know? So we don't have any investment in this place. And that's the way the Lord wants it. Because you got a lot of people who still got fringes on the bottom of their clothes, who they are invested in this place. So when it comes down to completely depart, they're not going to be able to do it. The Lord wants us to be in a place to where we like anything is better than this, right? Yeah. So, you know, I mentioned that in my lesson a couple days ago. you notice a lot of times the prophets, they always gonna be going through something or vexed with something a lot of the times, because the Lord needs us to be in the spirit of vexation for this place, so that we're crying out. And you know the amount of edification and lessons that are inspired because brothers have to be around niggas,
Man.
Right.
you know, because brothers have to, they eat this food and they like, damn, this food making me feel sick, or this chicken ain't taste like this 3 years ago. And the brother make all less, you know what I mean? Just the Lord has his men of the Lord in a state of perpetual, like, bro, this is some bullshit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
And the flock gets fed, you know.
If I can add, that's the whole point of the Lord putting us in this situation, putting us in captivity, you know, because, you know, the mind grows in adversity. You know, the mind grows in affliction. Just like when you go to the gym, in order for your muscles to grow, you got to put them under rigorous stress.
Yeah.
You know, so the Lord, he's stressing us out,
Mm-hmm.
you know, but it's to build us up stronger and to teach us a lesson, you know, and we'll never get it if we were just, you know, have had a soft life, had an easy life,
Yeah.
you know. So the elect is understand this is a learning period right now for the elect during the time of his grace.
Right.
Yeah. You can't grow in a state of being comfortable.
No.
All right. For us to go from glory to glory and faith to faith, he's gonna put us in situations to, like you mentioned, the gym. You go in the gym, at the end of the day, you say, okay, this was my max last week. Let's see if I can add 2 more pounds to it. You get put on the brink of what you can handle. So a lot of times the Lord is going to put us on the brink of what we can handle. You know what I mean? But he knows better than us. So we're able to do it. You got to keep that in mind. He's not going to put something on you that you can't do.
That's right.
But that's where the growth happens. You look at all the men of the Lord before the Lord rose them up to great positions. He put them through strenuous situations that seemed impossible. When you go read First Maccabees 2:50 on down, you get all those examples of the men of the Lord that went through particular things, man. The Lord put them on the brink of what was bearable for them. You know, when before King David was crowned king officially, look at all the stuff he went through.
Always on the run.
He earned his position, and we're gonna likewise, us auditioning for kingship, we're gonna earn ours as well.
Mm-hmm. Hey, that's why the Lord said we have to constantly endure. You know, we're gonna have troublesome times. It's gonna be stress, be tempted on everything. You know, that's why he said once you constantly do, you build up that spiritual muscle. In the same chapter with the Sirach 2, it say, "Woe to you, faint-hearted." If you're not building up that spiritual muscle, you're gonna faint. You know, during the time of trouble, time of temptation, all these obstacles that are thrown our way. And this is the time that the Lord has actually built us up for what we're seeing now. That's why Apostle Tahar, he deemed this the year, the hopeful year of Jacob's trouble.
Yep.
So we're, you know, if we're seeing things already. So if we're not keyed in and spiritually building and at least, you know, got something going, you can't go in there like you was talking about the weight bench. You can't go in there with your max at last 2 years ago. My max was 205 pounds. You walk in here trying to do 300 pounds, but you ain't really been in the gym that much. I've been in the gym 1 or 2 times this year. No, you had to you got to work your way up. So you constantly got to go through these different obstacles and constantly endure and build your spiritual muscle up.
Yeah. And you said constantly, meaning like you don't do it 1 week and then you take a 6-month hiatus. No, you're perpetually, consistently every day, applying, the techniques or the character traits that we've been given through the instructions of our Father.
Right.
I got a quick one for you if you want.
Let's get it.
It's James 1 and 2 in the NLT, and I like the way how the blue letter got this section of the chapter title. It says faith and endurance. And, going to this word endurance, just going, continuing to go into that concept of, this is a spiritual gym. All right. James 1 and 2 in the NLT. Dear brothers and sisters, when troubles come your way, consider it an opportunity for great joy. For you know that when your faith is tested, your endurance has a chance to grow. So let it grow. For when your endurance is fully developed, you will be perfect and complete, needing nothing. So, yeah, and that's what the Lord is, building us up to be perfect. You see, and that word perfect means complete, not lacking anything. And the only way that can come to pass is by the Lord, putting us through these, stressful situations, stressful environments, So that's why he says count it joy, because that shows that the Lord is dealing with us as sons. Right? Because he's not doing this for no nigga, man. He's not trying to build up any type of niggas. He's tearing them down. He's giving them, their heart's desire right now. As David says, let their tables and, be a snare and a trap to them. But to us, he's dealing with us as sons, so he's, pruning us, cultivating us, and just, putting us through these particular situations to where, right, we can stop and reflect and think like, man, why?
Right.
And there's a lesson, how's it go? There's a lesson. No, there's a blessing in the testing. Old folks used to say there's a blessing in the testing, and that's exactly what it is.
That's beautiful there. You got something, Matthew?
Yeah. Hebrews 12 and 7, as fact, start at verse 6. It says, for whom the Lord loveth, he chasteneth, and scourge every son whom he receiveth. If ye endure chastening, Yahweh dealeth with you as with sons. For what son is he whom the Father chasteneth not? So like I say, if you don't go through these different things, because the Lord, that's basically discipline. If you ain't never been disciplined before, that's why you have like a lot of these unruly kids growing up. They have like I said, the big Shirley's raising them. They let them do what they want. If you have someone in like a man in the neighborhood trying to say, hey, and try to discipline them a little bit or tell, let their mom know, she get on that grown ass man instead of getting on their child. Then what he grew up to be? Emotional, gunslinger, simp. That's probably gonna end up in jail or prison, or like you said, or in the ground, because they're unruly. But the Lord, he chastened us. He basically disciplined us for we can. When you discipline a child, you're showing them what and what not to do. That's what discipline is. When we're in this truth, when we get this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, the fear of the Lord calls us to follow more and have more discipline in our day-to-day lives.
All right. Well, yeah. You got some, Matthew? Osmar?
Yeah, I was just gonna get it quick and just laying back off the brother. Psalms 119 and 71. It is good for me that I have been afflicted, that I might learn thy statutes.
Hey, so when we get afflicted, it is good for us. Like you say, because we got to learn. We learn law. You learn this law, statute, commandment through discipline. We learn the value of fearing the Lord through chastisement. Through ways that the Lord has set up for us. Like you say, hey, bro, we look towards the Lord on everything. We walk out of our room and stump our toe. A person in the world like, damn, I stumped my toe. The devil's always working on. You got to think sometimes, hey, the Lord, Slacky, Lord, this may have been something that has been done that I stumped my toe.
Something that frustrate you.
Yeah. So it's things that we have to look at like that. And like I say, that's basically starting off with that wisdom, and what is wisdom? The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. We got to have that fear. This world don't have the fear of the Lord, so they're not going to be walking in the law, statute, commandments to the best of their ability.
They're not able to see spiritually.
Nope.
You mentioned the stubbing your toe incident. When things happen to us, or when we see particular things, or just say somebody in the world might mention something to us, the thoughts that run through our head are not the thoughts that run through a regular person's head. If somebody mentions something to us, or somebody comes later and mentions the same thing, we'll say, "Oh, the Lord is trying to get me to see something." We always bring it back. Okay, the Lord, we understand the Lord controls the minds of these people. He controls everything. But what is he trying to show me? We're constantly thinking. We see the number 144 probably just as much as any other person. They probably have the opportunity to see it, but they don't notice it because they're not looking for spiritual things.
Right.
We in the chat every day, man. You go 3-4 brothers, they're gonna be like, "Hey, I got 144." it's just to a lot of people that'll be like, a trivial thing, but for us, it's a big deal, man. That we constantly have the husband on our mind,
That's right.
and because we do, we're gonna have access to that protection and provision in the day of trouble, which these people are not because they're so blinded by the smoke screen and the subterfuge and the ruses that this devil
Mm-hmm.
is putting in front of their faces. You see, if you brothers don't got nothing else, man, I'm shoot.
If I'll get one more, I had one on the comment board from All Right for the Gentiles 144. It's Ecclesiastes 7:13. It say, consider the work of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, for who can make that straight which he has made crooked.
Mm.
All right. And because like I said, we can make things straight. Hey, we came out of like I say, that dead estate. We was walking we all was in the world, majority of us. And the Lord has basically started balancing us out, giving us capability to receive that mercy.
Right.
Because like I say, what is that in Ezekiel? We were a part of those dry bones, and the Lord has basically washed us with the word, gave us that spring of living water for us to grow, and become living through the spirit, not just through our carnal eyes that you mentioned earlier. Now we look toward with the spiritual eye. So we basically see the path of salvation. Even though we fall, wise men fall 7 times to get back up. We have to constantly stay on that path, going in, like you say, that consistently, constantly enduring.
You're right. You got anything, Osborne? Hey, man. Well, Abaratazah, the lesson was edifying. Once more, we want to give all praises to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem Rakakadash. Want to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Want to say shalom to all the brothers and, of course, the few sisters who are pursuing this truth in sincerity. May the blessing of election be upon your house. Shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom.